going to read The Cloud of Unknowing, Penguin Classics, and the way we get through the cloud is just one cloud at a time until we get through it. Chapter 13. It says, I don't know if I understand this one. It's too advanced. Now let us first consider the virtue of humility, how it is imperfect when its goal is anything else mixed with God, even if God is the chief goal, and how it is perfect when its goal is God alone. And if the matter is to be clearly seen and understood, first we must know what humility is in itself, and then we can better understand in truth the spirit, what its cause is. There's a cause? Humility in itself is nothing but the true knowledge and feeling of oneself as one is. For certainly anyone who can truly see and feel himself as he is would be truly humble. There are two reasons for humility. They are as follows. One is humanity's impurity, wretchedness, and weakness, into which he has fallen by sin, and which we must always feel to some degree while we live on earth, however holy we may be. The second is the superabundant love and excellence of God in himself, and at the sight of which all nature trembles. All scholars are fools. Goodness, did we read this? All saints and angels are blind, so that, were it not that through the wisdom of his Godhead he made this vision proportionate to their capacity in nature and in grace, I tremble to say what would become of them. The second reason is perfect. The second reason is perfect. How could you be humble if you think that you've read the cloud and now you've become smarter because you read the cloud? The real reason is perfect because it will last eternally. The first reason is imperfect, not only because it will cease at the end of this life, but also because it may often happen that a soul in this mortal body will find its longing so heightened through the abundance of grace that as often and as long as God deigns to bring it about, the soul will suddenly and completely lose and forget all knowledge and feeling of its existence, paying no attention to whether it has been holy or wretched, but whether this happens often or seldom to the soul in this state, I believe that it lasts only a very short time. During this time, it is made perfectly humble, for it knows and feels no reason but the chief one, and whatever it knows and feels, the other reason associated with it, even if God is the chief reason, it is imperfect humility. It is good all the same and must always be had, and God forbid that you should understand it in any other way than I am saying. I still don't understand it, but I maybe become too humble to understand, or else I just don't understand, and I use it as an excuse.
I mean, the last thing I understand is that if you have the meditation, if you have the experience of being one with God,
Well, he says if I meditate a lot,
that humbles you.
I could get the knowledge by meditation.
So if you know your true self, that
So if I unknow what I know, then I can get it. So the Way of Unknowing, where John Main He says the non-mechanics of the pilgrimage, the teaching of Jesus on prayer in the gospel is the basic teaching underlying meditation. For example, the spirit of faithful trust implicit in the mantra is what we find in his injunction to set your mind on God's kingdom and his justice before everything else, and all the rest will come to you as well. Today, especially, I think, many people are perplexed as to what is involved in the spiritual option in life presented in these words and accepted in meditation. You can't help in our very materialistic world but say, what is there in this for me? If I follow the spiritual path, what am I going to get out of it? Just consider the basic concepts of life that we have in our society. The basic model we operate on is an essentially mechanistic one, and life can easily become a mechanical operation. We think we are learning to deal with life by mastering the procedures. As a result, we miss the vitality of experience. A few years ago, when I was a headmaster of a school in the United States, interesting, John Maine was a headmaster of a school in the United States. I was horrified to receive a letter from the Department of Education saying that there was a shortage of engineers, and as many students as possible should therefore be directed into subjects which would qualify them for engineering studies at university. Here you have a whole concept of education which is seen merely as programming people, just as you would program a machine, so that individuals can become efficient cogs in the larger machine of society. This is why it is so important that we seriously awaken to the spiritual potential that we all have. It is not only our minds that will suffer if we do not. We even tend in this mechanistic view to view our bodies as machines that have to be properly serviced. Have you serviced your body lately? It needs servicing. I need to go to the doctor for servicing. Meditation is important because we must free ourselves from this mechanistic view of ourselves and of society. Spirituality is of supreme importance because it is the most practical step that anyone can take to rediscover himself, not as a machine or as a mechanistic cog in some vast assembly line, but in order to come to know ourselves as possessing an infinite depth of mystery. It is of supreme importance that every one of us make this discovery for ourselves. We can't take someone else's word for it. It is something that each of us must know, and know fully and clearly from our own experience. Once we do know it, everything else follows from it in right order. In discovering that potential, that depth of spirit within ourselves, we also take the first step in discovering that those we live with, those we love, those we work with, all possess this same depth of spirit, same capacity for opening to the mystery of their own being. We can hardly dare to imagine what a society would be like where everybody was on the road to realization that being is mystery, that each of us possess an infinite capacity, an infinite potential for expansion of the spirit into the mystery of God, and yet we should dare to imagine that. We should dare to imagine that it is possible for a society to exist where compassion takes precedence over just judgment, where mercy and forgiveness are the regular currency, But compassion, mercy, forgiveness, and love all depend upon the discovery of ourselves and others to be more than machines. This discovery will mean seeing society not as some anonymous body that needs servicing, but as a community of persons committed to maturity, to growth, to understanding, to love. But that society cannot be unless men and women can be found who will undertake the pilgrimage to the bedrock of their own being, who will be prepared to undertake the discipline of discovering their own infinite depths, their infinite capacity for love, for understanding, for God. But it is useless even to talk about God unless the commitment to that journey of self-discovery is there too. More and more people have been meditating for some years. Who have been meditating for some years are now waking to the community of silent love they share. I want to remind you again of the importance of the discipline that is involved. That the journey is away from self and beyond self into the infinity of God. The journey is away from all egoism. In words of Jesus, no one can be a follower of mine unless he leaves self behind. It is surprising to discover that the first step in self-transcendence is to be still. In meditation, this asks us to learn the discipline of sitting still. In that stillness, the body becomes an outward sign of the inward stillness that you approach in your pilgrimage of the mantra. Even as you become a committed meditator, do not underestimate the importance of an upright, alert posture of absolute stillness. Both combine to the preparation for that inward stillness wherein the mystery unfolds itself. The journey of meditation is a journey into the mystery of being. It is a journey into which we discover our own mystery as part of the infinite mystery. The way remains one of absolute simplicity. There is no advanced technique involved or any complicated books that you need to read. The most simple person can undertake this journey. Indeed, the simpler the better is to begin with. All you need for the journey is discipline, commitment to the daily return to it, and to making that space in your day, in your heart. And you need faith. The basic faith you need is that you are valuable and that you are valued. This is the faith, that you are lovable and that you are loved. You need this faith when you begin, and as you continue on the pilgrimage, your faith will grow and your fears will fall away. The maturing of faith and the falling away of fear depend upon your commitment to the mantra, which is another way of saying your determination to leave self behind and to journey into the mystery. We read in conjunction from John Main with the cloud. We're putting the cloud of unknowing, unknowingly or knowingly, and the way of unknowing, knowingly, into the cloud together.